Welcome, friends, to the Beaver Dam, and yes, today we are talking about the almighty Darth Revan. So, Darth Revan and Jedi Knight Revan, the Revans, if you will, they are very important in the game. They are not to be slept on, but the question is, when do you farm them? And that is the point of this video. Thank you guys for being here, and honestly, the thing is, these are PPs. These are 100% PPs for so many people. A lot of people have played Knights of the Old Republic. A lot of people have played Star Wars The Old Republic. And, you know, Star Wars has figured out a really good formula of you slap a dope mask on a character or a dope helmet, and all of a sudden they're dope just by association with the helmet. And so this is kind of the penultimate one where it doesn't matter if you've played KOTOR or not, they still look frickin' cool, and so you still want the Revans. And so you're wondering where you can plug in these wonderful characters into your overall farms. And my account actually was a Revan Rush account originally, just because I liked KOTOR, and the fact that I could get Darth Revan and Jedi Knight Revan was really frickin' cool. And so I was just like, I didn't know anything about the game besides I want the Revans. And getting Darth Revan, I got him first before Jedi Knight Revan, which is really weird if you know the events. I got Darth Revan first, and seeing the progression from using a basic Phoenix before Krex came out to using Geonosians to using Darth Revan just blew my mind. I love these characters. They really opened up my mind to the possibilities of you know, how powerful teams can be and how interesting and cool kits can be. I love the Darth Revan kit. I love the Jedi Knight Revan kit. So as for where these guys can fit into any roster, I don't think them as a starting farm is necessarily a bad thing, but I also don't think it's necessarily a good thing. It's kind of the same problem with a lot of starting farms, which is they don't have any ships associated with them that are easy to get. And so going for a Darth Revan or a Jedi Knight Revan team isn't really going to build you a fleet. And that's kind of the big problem at the start, is you need to be able to build into fleets as well as build into characters. But that being said, I have seen Darth Revan, Jedi Knight Revan accounts pull out really well, like obviously my account. It's just going to take a while. In fact, Darth Revan and Jedi Knight Revan are the reason I got from Carbonite to Bronzium, even before I got my Galactic Legend. They're just so incredibly good at, you know, taking things down. In fact, I still use Darth Revan to this day. Until I got Malgus recently, Darth Revan was my go-to lead for the Sith Empire, and I would literally just use it as my trump card of, oh dang, I don't know how to beat that. Well, Darth Revan beats it. And, you know, Jedi Knight Revan gets rid of so many pesky teams. You got Night Sisters, you know, you got any kind of low synergy team, like, you know, Kander's teams. It's an obvious dub. You go up against things like a Zori team, and it's a little terrifying, but you can take it out. It's such a versatile and good team, and he can fit into so many other teams that are so incredibly good. As for when you should farm them, though, when you should farm them is really when you want. These are some of the few characters, like, you know, you have JKCK, and it's like, it's hard to justify it in an early game because unless you have JML, you don't really have a place for Jedi Knight Cal, and on top of that, the requirements to get him don't really benefit your account if you're early on. You know, you look at things like Starkiller, and you're like, you should have some Sith in your roster, you should have some Scoundrels in your roster, you should have some Empire, you should have like Emperor Palpatine in your roster before you consider going for a Starkiller farm. Whereas for the Revans, it doesn't require a ton. Gear 9 is all you need to get through Jedi Knight Revan and some 7-star characters that are all fairly easy to farm. Darth Revan's the same way, except it requires a little bit more gear, but it's more like Gear 12. But I mean, the thing is, 2 of the characters that you need to get to Gear 12 are, you know, characters that go with Darth Revan anyways. And then on top of that, you need all those characters up to Gear 12 just to get Malak, and Malak is phenomenal. And so overall, this is not something that feels like a ton of investment. And so I don't want you to drop farms for it, but if you're feeling like you need more teams, I think it's the perfect time for you to drop for the Revans. You know, you're sitting there, you got maybe some light speed bundles, you're having a good time, but you feel like you don't quite have enough teams for offense. Go drop and grab Darth Revan and Jedi Knight Revan. You finish JML. If you finish JML and you don't have Jedi Knight Revan, it's your next project. Because Jedi Knight Revan improves the Jedi Master Luke team really, really well. Darth Revan's going to give you just another really solid team, obviously, and then together they make Malak. So, like, overall, if you have some good Jedi in your squad, go for Jedi Knight Revan and go for the Revans. If you're going to go for one, go for the other. There's not really a point to just going for one. They're both amazing teams, even in the current meta. There's a reason they're still meta teams after all these years. I don't even remember what year these guys came out, but it was a long time ago. And yet they're still in the top 10 teams and just overall being able to fit into GLs, being able to fit into a Malgus team. Like, there's so many versatility ways to use them, and it's so great. So overall, I would say if you're getting close to Jedi Knight Luke, getting close to JML, consider the Revans, like, absolutely. But otherwise, just don't worry about it too much. Whenever you feel like you need more teams, these are two absolutely banger teams that you can make fairly easily. There's not a ton of Kyrotech involved in any of the characters for their teams. The only thing you got to worry about is Malak has Kyrotech, and that's it. And besides that, you can do this with all Raid 1 currency. So this isn't a feel-bad farm, which I very, very much appreciate. And so, like, yeah. Going through and just looking at the requirements, you know, let's go to Old Republic. You know, you can see these characters are actually fairly easy to farm because you start looking through them, like Zalbar and Mission. In the last couple of years, they've graciously made it so they're on the same node. So yes, it's a hard node farm. It's going to take you a while, but you can farm both at the same time. And like Jolee, he's on the same node as Bo-Katan, and so you're getting another character. Is it a super helpful character at the beginning? No, but this will go with a Mommy Mandalore, it'll go for JMK, and so you're getting two characters for the price of one, which is why I really appreciate when they double up on those nodes. Even if it's not necessarily something you're using currently, it's going to be helpful at some point. You know, the Iden Versio on the Vulture Droid node, that kind of thing. It's going to be helpful. So all these characters, fairly easy to get, and then, you know, obviously your Sith Empire, also fairly easy to get. You know, Cantina, and then, you know, HK is the required one, as well as Darkside Bastila, and HK is literally just a farm and squad arena. And so overall, this is not a hard farm, and it feels good because it's low investment, high yield. You're going to use these characters from now until the end game. They're never going to drop out of viability. They literally can't drop out of viability just because of how good they are. And hey, maybe one day we'll get a Revan Reborn like we've all been begging for years. We shall see. But regardless, overall with the Revan farm, I keep having people ask me about this, and like I keep mentioning it to people as they're getting close to JML. I'm like, you should get your Jedi Knight Revan going, or they'll have like the Jedi Knight Revan but not the Darth Revan. I'm like, dude, just drop in the Darth Revan. It's so good. Overall, it's not a farm where you're just like, oh my gosh, I gotta strategically place it. It's whenever you need teams, get the Revans. They're gonna be great. You know, you get your first GL, you need to build out some teams, get the Revans. They're going to be great. So, and in summary, get the Revans. They're going to be great. I love these teams. They're so much fun. Darth Revan's kit is still one of my favorites to this day, and I use both of them every single GAC. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I'd love to hear your comments. Were the Revans your first characters? Are they PPs for you? What is your true PP? Passion projects are important for each of us. So tell us about your PP in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.